Theological pipe.
I've been expecting you.
There is a God, and
I speak German.
I'm not him.
Artists need to keep arting. And what I mean by that is if you're a musician, you need to play. If you're a singer, you need to sing. If you're a painter, you need to paint. If you're a poet, you need to do poetry. If you're a writer, you need to write. We need that in today's world. Art is something that is needed. It helps us to transcend and to forget about things that are going on in our lives. It helps us to recreate. It helps us to relax. It helps us to lose our focus on the things that are going on bad in this world, and helps us just to collect ourselves. And art is an important part of who we are as a species, as humanity. And I've said before that music, and I've said sports, and I've said other things in this podcast, I've said that those things are gifts from God, and I truly believe that. I believe that God has given us the gift of music, has given us the gift of poetry, has given us the gift of writing, has given us the gift of acting. If you're an actor, you need to act. All those artistic endeavors do wonders for the human soul. And I'm kind of struck. I've said something similar on a couple of podcasts before, but this is maybe just an encouragement if you're a local artist, or if you're you're not world famous. So what? Right? Number one, if you're an artist, you probably do it for yourself anyway. Right? There's a story in the Bible, Jeremiah. He's one of the prophets, and he's known as the weeping prophet. And the reason he's known as the weeping prophet is, number one, he was delivering some bad news to the Israelites, and number two, nobody listened to him. He had a message. He had something to say. He had a mission from God, and when he went around preaching for decades, only 2 people responded positively to his message. Everyone else didn't listen to him and just ignored him and didn't want anything to do with him. 2 people responded positively to what he was talking about. One was the guy who traveled with him, his scribe, and the other was an Ethiopian slave, I believe. There was just 2 people in decades that listened to him. But he said in the book of Jeremiah, he said that the message that he had from God was like a fire in his belly, and if he didn't get it out, it was going to burn him up. And I kind of equate that to people that are artistic, to people that have an artistic bent in their life. They have to do it. Like if you're a writer, you have to write. Even if nobody's reading it, you have to write. If you're a musician, you have to play. Even if nobody's listening, you're going to play. If you're a singer, you sing because you like to sing, and you don't care if people are listening or not. It's nice if people listen. It's nice if people tell you that they get something from it. But you have to do it. But the good news about art to me is when you do it, if you are believable, if you are passionate, it means something. So I know for me, and I'm not going to list off all my friends that are artists, but I have a ton of people that paint, that do digital art, that sing, that play instruments, that are writers. And even though they may not have the widest audience, it helps me in my life. It helps me get through my life. I love listening to music. I love talking about music. I love movies. I love reading, all those things. And it would be a shame if they didn't do it. So if you're a local artist, man, put things on YouTube, put things on Facebook, put your work out there. Even if 10 people are listening to you, 10 people are listening to you. And again, what you're doing for those people who are consuming your art, you're comforting them. You're helping them get through tough times. You're giving them joy. You're helping them to relate to the world around them. And art is just an incredible gift, I think, from God. I think it's a gift from God. And whatever talent that God has given you, man, I hope it's like a fire in your belly and you have to get it out. Because, again, it helps us. It helps people get through the things that they're going through. And again, some of us, most of us, anyone that does anything artistic, you're probably not going to reach 1 million people. You're probably not going to play before, stadiums that are sold out, people chanting your name. But you are going to play, and there are going to be people that get joy and happiness and comfort peace and all the things that art does. It uplifts, it helps us, it helps us, it binds us together. It helps us to know that there are other people that think and feel the same way we do. And it helps us recognize differences. And again, it just brings us together. And again, any kind of art does that. Again, I'm thinking music, but I'm also, again, thinking paintings and drawings and acting and writing and all those things. It's a gift from God. And the number one characteristic of great art for me, and I've said this before as well, for me is believability. Is, do you have the passion and are you believable? I'd rather go to a seedy dive bar and listen to a guy plug in an acoustic guitar and sing, and maybe he's not the best player and maybe he's not the best singer, but when he sings, I believe him. And when he plays, I believe him. Like, I believe that he's really passionate about it. I can tell that he loves what he's doing. And I can tell that when he sings those songs, whether they're cover songs or whether they're originals or a combination of both, that I believe what he's saying. And even when he tries to hit notes that are too high and his voice cracks, that's my favorite part, because I know that there's an emotion there and I know that he's trying his best. Give me that person, that believable, passionate person. To me, believability and passion trumps talent, right? You may have a singer that's pitch perfect, that can hit every note with ease, that can sing like an angel. And I'm not saying it's not fun to listen to them, and I'm not saying it's not I'm not saying it's not a gift. But if I don't believe you, if I can tell that you don't believe in what you're singing, it falls flat for me. I'll use church as an example. You go to these church services. There are people that can sing beautifully, but I just don't believe they love Jesus like they're saying they do, right? And then you have other people that you can tell they don't have that gift of the beautiful voice, but man, you know that they believe what they're saying. You know that they are passionate about it, right? So if you have any kind of artistic bent in your life, man, do it. Whether you're reaching 10 people or 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people, people need it. Art is important. Again, artists need to art. They need to do their art because the world needs it. And again, guess what? It's always needed it. We're not in a time period where things are so bad that there's no time comparable in history to the badness that we have going on right now, and the horribleness and the division. Listen, I know it seems bad, but it's always that way. Every generation thinks that their generation is the one that's had it worse than ever. Our grandparents had to walk uphill to school both ways in the snow. Every generation has that belief that this is the worst of times. The fact of the matter is, it's the best of times and it's the worst of times all the times. Right? There's always ups and downs. There's always bad things going on. Billy Joel wrote a song, We Didn't Start the Fire, and a song that he doesn't really like because he says, I think that there's no melody in it. It's kind of just a simple song. But in the song, We Didn't Start the Fire, he goes through decades and decades and decades saying, here's what this generation had going on and it was tough. Here's what this generation had going on and it was tough. There's always bad things going on. You're going to endure. You're going to get through it. And again, for me, how do you get through it? It's with artists. It's with people being able to take your minds off of the negative and to actually focus on some of the positive things that you have going on in life. So if you're an artist, art. Keep arting, and I think it's a gift. I think it's a gift from God that people have that ability to do those things, and I think it's a gift from God to us, to people who consume art, to help us endure life, right? Endure what's going on and get through each day and move on to the next day. So I guess this is just in praise of artists. If you're a local artist, if you're a big-time artist or anything in between, man, keep doing it because the world needs it, and it's a good gift, and it's a gift from God. And keep rocking, keep writing, keep poeting, keep painting, keep doing what you're doing because the world needs it. So put that in your theological pipe and smoke it, and we'll see you next time.
Well, bye.